What's good, my people? Flash Speaks back for another video on Wheel of Time, and this time I am going to give you my reactions. Now I'm going to do something a little bit different. I know usually you're used to the week by week thing, week 1 and week 2 episode, this and that, and I am working on that, trust me, but I'm going to do something a little different. What I'm going to do today is react to episode 6, which I kind of needed to do because, like I said, I'm not a master of this particular world. I am an onlooker. I am just a watcher of the show like you, but even me, I need to make sense out of what is happening so that I can speak. I had a lot of questions that this episode answered for me. So what I'm going to do is react to this particular episode, episode 6, in light of what I've learned from episodes 1 through 6, if you feel what I'm saying. So yeah, you know how we do. Just sit back, get ready for this episode because we are about to go up on a ride. Chip. Well, if it's one thing I've learned, and two things for certain, it's that the character, the central character who understands what the hell is going on, who is aware of the situation and what needs to be done, it is this one right here. That is Moraine Demodred, or Moraine Sedai. The way the episode started off, I was lost. I had no idea who this little girl was. I had no idea who this man was. I had no idea what the whole fishing thing was. When she started doing a little something with her hands, doing the Aes Sedai channeling, then I knew, oh, okay, well, this must be somebody that's coming up. She must clearly be important. So I started thinking in my mind, is it the one who got killed last week? They showing a little something about her past, but I think that would be a little bit too much. You know, she just had a funeral and everything. That'd be ridiculous. Or is it any of the other brown ones? Is it Egwene? I started to think maybe it was Nynaeve when she was a little girl, and this was what she was with her dad before she went with the, the old wisdom. You know, I'm thinking all this kind of stuff. So lo and behold, steps up on the scene is the most regal, the most stunning looking black woman I've seen. Probably reminds me of Claire Huxtable. The way Claire Huxtable will come on the scene and just kind of take up the attention of the scene and demand the attention of the scene. I don't know, just something about this woman that kind of struck me in that way. So I'm looking on and say, hold up. So this is the lady that's the leader of the Aes Sedai. This is the president of the Aes Sedai. This is the Amelin seat. Okay, yeah, I can do this. I think I can do this. Okay. Oh, okay. So next thing they bring in the false dragon. Alright, these women here, the toughest women I've seen since like the Amazon. They've run-ish, okay? Now, what preceded was the scene which I think was probably my favorite scene, is when my man got drawn in there and she asked him to speak, and this man tells her, this woman, some of the most realish stuff I ever heard on the show. So, you see, this is like a real extreme matriarchal society. And it's interesting that the author is, Robert Jordan. He's exploring this material. I'm interested here. So you're talking about a society where women are running everything. They got it. Well, in particular, this particular club. Well, I put it that way, right? I don't know enough about the rest of the world to comment in such a definitive way like that. But at any rate, here, when it comes to this magic, these women, they run it. And this woman right here, obviously, in her mind, believes she is the most powerful being on the world, or she's the most important one, because you listen to the way she talked to Moraine. Hey, she calls them daughters. Moraine is like, on your knees, the whole nine. I'm like, yo, these chicks got a society right here. They have an organization, and they serious about that shit. Whatever it is, they are serious about that. At any rate, they bring my man in. He all emasculated, what they call gentle, but emasculated. And he says something to her that gave me a lot of insight. He basically said, like, listen, what the people are going to remember, you can sit up here and flash and act like you all you want. But what those people are going to remember is that me, one guy, took on 9 women. And I still killed one of y'all. That's what he wants the people out there to hear, because apparently the men have been so emasculated and kept down that they feel oppressed, especially in this particular area of society here when it comes to this, this channeling and everything. So he wants it to be known, because his motive perhaps is to embolden boys, who may want to look into channeling, who may have these talents. Because let's be real, these women are probably very extreme. They're probably over the top. They're probably very oppressive to the men. I understand, there's probably things that happened in the past that led to that. Oftentimes, when you have situations like this, they come as the result of overcorrection. Maybe the men prior to the turning of the wheel before were oppressing the women. So in this particular redo, if you will, or renewing, if you will, women are overcorrecting for those things. Possible, but it's great that he's exploring that. And he's probably right. If women were put in a situation where the matriarchy was in charge of the patriarchy, the women would probably oppress the men. I mean, it's just human nature. And this is awesome. I like that. So what happens is the Amelin seat, I'm sorry, y'all, I did forget her name. I am sorry about that. But what happens is the Amelin seat, she sentences this man. She decides, instead of showing some mercy and clemency to him and just killing him, which he would rather be dead than to live the life the way he was. But he probably, if he wanted that, he probably shouldn't have talked shit, maybe. But at any rate, he's going to get charged because he showed no clemency. And oftentimes when you go before a judge who might be tripping, ego tripping, and she tripping off thousands of years of women just doing what they're doing, she decided to make an example of him, let him live out the rest of his days, as just this gentle, emasculated individual. And we'll see if that has bad results for them, for the Aes Sedai in the future. I don't know. Next order of business, right? You got Moraine, Sedai, and everything that happened. The Amelin Sea Lady trying to find out. But what happens is, you see on the left there, the big face, the woman in the red, instead of letting things be what they are, she got to step up and start snitching out Moraine Sedai. So she snitches her out, talking about, they got this other girl in the back, the black girl Nynaeve, who they think is the most powerful challenger since, thousands of years, is what they're saying. They ain't seen nothing like that in a while. So she's bringing that up, which I guess makes sense, but we know she's a hater of Moraine, and she want to see Moraine in trouble because she ain't say nothing to them about this. Hey, that's just how it is. So Moraine, as we said, right, she's a wise person. She is a pragmatist. She don't just follow the rules because she knows that if she followed the laws and just went and told, human beings are more complex than that. Human beings have motives, they have agendas and all that. And that chick in the red, she got more than motives and she got agendas, but she got hate in her heart. All right, Moraine knows, hey, look, the dragon could be a good person. So, and the dragon likely, well, of course, will be a man, I'm pretty sure. So it appears to me Moraine is thinking, look, if it's a man, then we got to be, nice to him and protect him. If I let all these chicks know about, some man coming about who could actually be to help us stand up against the dark one, these chicks are going to want to gentle him, turn him into a little masculine, little, whatever. And, we're going to lose in this battle. So Moraine thinks like that. So she keeps these secrets. All right. This is what I'm getting out of what's happening. Correct me if I'm wrong, any of you experts on the Wheel of Time. So at any rate, the next thing they do is they got to go through this whole charade where the Amelin seat got to be the Amelin seat. She can't look weak, so she got to hold Moraine accountable. Got Moraine getting on her knees up there begging for mercy and all this kind of stuff. So then she asks her why. Moraine has a chance to answer in front of everybody, but she knows she can't do that. So she had to sit up there and just straight tell her, listen, I cannot say, which ticks off the Amelin seat. Amelin C got to be fronting in front of everybody, we found out later, and tell her, look, I'll deal with you tomorrow. So this gives us a good look at the politics that goes on with the Aes Sedai, which is good. I like the way they're fleshing that out. It's just not some mystical group that we don't get, an insight as to what's happening. It's good, like The Witcher does. Though Game of Thrones did not do that with the Red Woman and everything, here what we get, since this is more central to the actual story, we get a look into the inner workings and inner mechanisms or mechanics of the politics that is run by the Aes Sedai. So apparently they are separated by different groups who wear different colors, who maybe, I'm guessing, vote on the Amelin seat. When one dies, the next one takes over. This is the type of order I think we're seeing here. At any rate, similar to like the Pope and the Pontiff, he may have been, the popes like have their own lives before they're the Pope. Like, so So, like, say in the past, you've had popes sitting in Rome who were initially at one time may have been the Cardinal of Spain. Okay, then eventually he becomes the Pope. He has certain Spanish leanings, and he'll often lean towards the King of Spain. He may give them favor, different things like that. This is similar to what you're seeing here, as we learned that the Amarin seat was once a blue, like Moraine was, so they had some affinity to each other. They had some history. They know each other well. As we later see, they actually have a sexual relationship with each other, which I don't know if that's in the books. I kind of hope, if they're going to do it, that it is in the books. I don't like when you add stuff like that wasn't in the books, because typically these things don't enhance the story. But I don't know. You guys can tell me. Maybe they are gay in the books. I don't know. But this is what we have here. So at any rate, after their little escapades, they end up having a conversation where Moraine tells her that she knows who the dragon is, or can at least round it down to about 4 individuals. Nynaeve being X'd out by process of elimination because she does not fit the age range of the prophecy. They also give us some good information as to how their prophecies work, that they've been interpreted over time through different Aes Sedai throughout the centuries, and that they aren't always literal. So sometimes an Aes Sedai can take a prophecy literal, sometimes they can take them figurative. And these are all of the things that Moraine is working through in order to determine what is the best mode of operations. So at any rate, what they did, they decide to put on this little front the next, where Moraine agrees to humiliate herself in front of her and accept some sort of banishment. The whole time she kind of wants to leave anyway, because she wants to take all 5 of them to what is known as the Eye of the World, where's the place where the Satan, or the Dark One, is caged, and they figure that they can meet him there and defeat him, which is probably highly unlikely, because typically with prophecies of this type, the evil one, or the forces of evil, are usually defeated in a specific way that people who are believers of the particular prophecy aren't able to fulfill on their own. Like, in other words, okay, if you have the believers, the Aes Sedai, deciding to be clever and to outdo the prophecy, meaning beat him in a way that's different from the specific ways outlined in that particular prophecy, they'll probably lose. And it could be something as simple as, whoever the dragon is that has to face them, that dragon is not the dragon yet, or that dragon is not prepared to face him yet. So my feeling is that that's probably what'll happen. Like I've told you, I do not know the story at all. I did not read the books. I'm just following it, but I've watched so many shows and I understand how writers write to predict that what's probably going to happen is they'll either fail to meet this Dark One, or if they do meet him, they won't be prepared. Also, as we saw, Matt didn't make it. I don't quite understand what that means, but it makes him look like he might be the Dark One or helping them in some way. All of which I don't believe is the case. I believe he's just more of the flawed hero type. But we'll see. I don't know. Anyway, man, that's what I got here with this episode 6. I think it was a very telling episode, very important. I feel like I learned a lot from it. I forgot to go over the fact that Matt was exorcised by Moraine, which may have had something to do with it. Maybe I'll touch on that in the next video, man. But from now, man, you like, subscribe. Catch you on a rebound.